Morning, everybody. Day 5 of mold avoidance. I'm here in Lion Mountain. It is a balmy 26 degrees Fahrenheit, and we have snow and wind going on. This is the Friends of Lion Mountain Mining and Railroad Museum. If you're ever in Lion Mountain, New York, you should check it out. It's pretty cool. So last night, I'm very fortunate. The owner of the Iron City RV Park, Mr. Siskavich, has given me permission to sleep in the parking lot from sundown to sun up. And that is fantastic because the air there is pristine and wonderful. It's the highest up I could get on the mountain without starting to go down the other side. And it's fabulous. Even without the windows open, some air gets in and it's enough to restore me, really. I had a rough day yesterday. I had a rough day the day before. But so how I was able to keep warm was I have a 0-degree Teton sleeping bag, which is important because there's no flame retardants on them, which caused me to react. And so I also used an emergency blanket over the top of my sleeping bag, and I was toasty warm. I didn't even have to wrap up my head. It was great. Actually, at one point, I got so hot, I put one arm out, and it was 26 degrees, and I didn't run the heat really all night. I mean, all night was, from about midnight to 4:30, I think, is when I woke up the first time. So, so again, I just am starting mold avoidance, and I'm doing this and chemical avoidance. I'm just showing the dirty, gritty, how it starts out. It's messy, it's ugly, it's uncomfortable, but there have been some people who've been keeping me alive via telephone. Evie and Andrea, shout out to you guys, experienced mold avoiders who've been giving me great advice, especially when I get brain fogged. I got a chemical hit yesterday. I went in my neighbor's house to use the bathroom and make some hot water for, I got this little thermos thing, and it keeps water hot for a really long time. It's just Ozark Trail, but I mean, it keeps the water hot all night. I make that tea and then I can sip it. If I get chilly, I can sip it, or it's just comforting to have a warm beverage. You know what I mean? And so, I went in there to make the water, use the bathroom, brush my teeth, and, I made some scrambled eggs, and I was only in there about 20 minutes, and earlier in the day, I had started to react. I mean, and my face was super red, and I started crying, and one of the girls gave me a hug, because she was trying to comfort me, but she was wearing fragrance, and I knew I had to get out of there because it was starting, right? My face was beet red, my lips were tingling, my tongue started to get thick, and I'm like, okay, the next thing's the anaphylaxis, time to run. So I ran outside, and even though it was like 40 degrees, I just sat out there in the cold, breathing the air, because again, fresh air, it's restorative. So I recognized that there was fragrance on my jacket. That was my one jacket that I had that I could wear of Columbia fleece. And so I took it off. I mean, I had to. It was making my throat close up, and so I, freaked out. I kind of threw it away from me. Now I'm standing out there in a t-shirt, and I get in my car, turn the heat on, and I called Andrea, and I was like, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. And the thing is, there is an effect. The chemicals have an effect on my brain, which is similar to drugs. And I used to do drugs, so I know what drugs are like. But it produces, let me tell you this, it's not a drug that I would have done more than once, because, it's not pleasant. It's a feeling of panic. It's a feeling of, powerlessness. And obviously your whole body is reacting at the time. So it's called brain fog, So I asked her, what do I do? What do I do? Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. And so we just started talking, brainstorming, thinking out loud. She's like, well, look around. What do you have? I had this blanket, y'all, this blanket. And somebody gave it to me a long time ago. And I remember I washed it in my washer. That was before my washer went moldy, with something to take the fragrance out. Typically hot water and baking soda and borax. That's what I was washing things in. And then rinsing it in a cold water rinse with a lot of vinegar, and then hung it out on my line, And the air is so good here that it's been in my car, and it's good. I can tolerate it. So I couldn't even find my scissors. I normally always keep my scissors in the glove box over there, but I could not even find my scissors. So I took my knife and I cut a hole in it, and I made like a poncho. And so that's what I wore. I sat outside wearing this until I couldn't stand the cold anymore. And then I, came back into my car and, took some breaths and calmed down. And I'm like, okay, time to decontaminate the best I can under my circumstances, which meant washing my face and hands with just water on a paper towel, and then driving up to the mountain where the good air is. And, I'm like way better today, just way better. So today I am just going to try to find different places to kind of hang out during the day, to park where I won't be bothering anybody. I had to go to town twice in a row for my dog. So I'm pretty maxed out, and I had that chemical hit yesterday. So I don't dare go into any kind of town today. Luckily I have some food in here that I can eat. Maybe if any of my friends or family that live in Lime Mountain are going to the store, maybe I can ask them to pick me up a couple things. One of the good things about COVID is a lot of places have curbside pickup, and that's great for me because I cannot now, because of COVID, they are sanitizing everything, and I can't even step foot in a store without starting my throat close up. I understand why they're doing it. I'm just saying it's having a negative effect on me, and I'm sure everybody else out there that has multiple chemical sensitivities. I've been assured that with mold avoidance, my multiple chemical sensitivities will decrease. They may not ever go away, but they'll decrease. And guess what? That's enough for me, right? My goal is I want to restore my health. I've done a lot of inner work to restore my sanity. It's been suggested to me that I've gone off my rocker, that I should check myself into a mental institution, that I should go back on my medication. And the thing is, I did have mental health issues for years and years and years, but what I didn't understand was, well, number one, I didn't understand the effect that chemicals were having on me. And number two, I had some deep trauma from my childhood that I had not dealt with, that I have since dealt with. I went through intensive counseling, a 12-step program, a lot of prayer and meditation. And so I'm not off my rocker, right? My body is doing this, not my mind, and it's astounding to me that people are constantly saying, you just need to change your mind about it. And, like, for example, like that DNRS stuff, retrain your mind. It's not retraining my mind, okay? And here's how I know. Because there are times when I'm asleep. So my mind is not active. I might be asleep, and all of a sudden I get a chemical hit and I wake up. Or I get a mold hit and I wake up. So therefore, it's not a mind thing. It's a body thing. It's a reaction in the body. So if there's anybody in your life that's complaining of multiple chemical sensitivities, I'm starting a YouTube channel. I don't know really how to do it yet. So I'm just going to post on Facebook videos for a little bit. And I'm going to be, getting links together for you. One I can think of is Anna Harris Wright's The Beginner's Guide to Mold Avoidance. Facebook group is a good source of information. But there's a lot of it, canaries, that's what they call us. But you can research it, and I'm going to be, this is the whole reason I'm doing this, laying my whole life on the line, is to raise awareness and get help, not just for myself, but for everybody who's suffering. And there are a lot of people suffering, and I believe we need to come together and, just work for something better. I don't think we're going to have a utopia. I'm just saying, if we can lessen the suffering and maybe band together and support each other. So, all right, I'm out for today. Thanks for watching.